The Dyson Sphere's construction continues, and we're having the time of our lives, finally just helping Gacrux Prime be all that it can be. We finally just get to hang out on this planet and build stuff and make everything better, like we've been trying to do for 50 episodes now. Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series. So things are going quite well with sulfuric acid now. We have a solid line there, and I can probably, with that in mind, we can probably go ahead and add more of these here. That would be my guess. Yeah. Perfect. Now we will have to do a little bit of finagling of power, which is to be expected. Always be prepared for power finagling in Dyson Sphere Program. Always, always, always. All right, and now that we've done that, there's a couple things I need to do. Before I get to the frame materials, I am building all these frickin' pilers, and we're going to make use of them. I'm going to head over to... Hello, rocket launch. I'm going to head over to where I have my optical grading crystal coming out here. And we are going to put a piler on both of these lines. Now, the nice thing about this situation is that I don't actually have to put the pilers... Like, I can just put the pilers here. Literally here. And they will do their job. It's great. Hold on a second. That's surprising. Alright, well, I will just put one of you there then. That's a little bit overkill just to power a piler, but it's easier than building what I... Oh, I have that going the wrong way. Oops. Might have the other one going the wrong way too. We'll check that. I do. Hadrian, what are you doing? And there we go. So because those are both running continuously, they're now going to intersect down here. And now I would imagine they're going to have a much easier time saturating this entire line. I'll be curious to see how this goes. You can really see them making their way down like halfway through. I want to see if it continues to do that. It's a very, very continuous flow, which is to be expected. I have a ton of this resource. Yeah, good. I think this is going to stack. And if this stacks, I'm going to be very happy. It's stacking. Oh, that's lovely. It's stacking fast, too. Okay, so the pilers definitely solved that problem. We have a continuous production now of Casimir crystals. Now, that might change if... Yeah, see? Now the hydrogen's getting sucked up a little bit. But still, you know, we have a lot more Casimir crystals coming, which means we'll also have a lot more of these bad boys coming. You can see the line just absolutely full of these things now, so that's great to see. And one of the things that will occur naturally as a result of this is that we now will have more plane filters. Slowly but surely. Okay, so having addressed that... Man, where are these going? Hang on, I've got to see this. Is this just a solid belt? Did I have it go all the way around? I did, didn't I? Awesome. Awesome sauce. Alright. Yeah, so we're waiting on hydrogen, but it seems like there's still plenty to go around, which is fantastic. Alright. As I said I was going to do, let's now improve our production of frame materials, because that's yet another thing that is keeping us from being all that we can be on Gacrux Prime. We are back below 12 gigawatts, just because what's effectively happening is the Dyson swarm is disappearing. It's just going away, because we're building so quickly. Speaking of that, we can probably... These rockets are launching so quickly that there are likely additional... Yep, I see one. There's that. There's that. There is... No. Okay. Cool. Cool. What do you need? Oh, yes, that's right. So this was one of the reasons I wanted to work on sulfuric acid, is it's pretty clear that we don't quite have enough of titanium alloys, which is interesting. I think at this point we should be seeing a lot more of them, but for whatever reason they're still not making it all the way down. I have the titanium alloys, yeah, being split in two different directions here. And I think that's the right way to do it. It's a really interesting choice that I made here. So you can see them going left and right here, effectively, as they come in. They get split here, and then they go around this machine different directions. It's kind of cool. Almost like tying knots around it. But it's just not resulting... I don't have a ton of these available. And we're not even fully producing. We're still... Really, we're still short. So we're going to need to get even more of this flowing. So let's do the same thing we've already done once. It's surprising. Need liquid sources? You're literally being built on a liquid source. What are you talking about? Alright, that's good enough. It's a little bit farther away than the others, but it's okay. Alright, now in this case, I'm just going to build a satellite station. And now we will once again do the same thing. This time I think I'm going to place the splitter here. Just a reminder for folks who are coming in and maybe haven't watched the earlier part of the series, I am well aware that you can combine lines without using splitters. You can just run them together. I mean, you saw me do that with the lenses, or not really the lenses. Well, yeah. No, not with the lenses, but with the photons in the last episode. But generally speaking, I want all lines that are contributing to a merged line to contribute equally. And that does not occur, unfortunately, when you don't use sorters. Or splitters, I should say. It doesn't occur at all. Doesn't happen. Because one line gets held up, or two lines get held up. Well, no, two lines won't, unless there's three lines coming in from elsewhere, which is too much. But like, if you have three lines converging or two lines converging, the one that's moving faster, that's filling up the line, will prevent the other one from contributing as quickly. Whereas if you have these, then they will actively combine the lines at the average rate of those lines coming in. So like they'll really kind of even out the movement of everything. As you can see here, we just have a steady flow coming from all directions. And now we're actually building up sulfuric acid here, which is great. So it does seem like we finally might have a little bit more in the way of this. We're definitely seeing more of those going, which is leading to... Oh yeah, it's clearly already having an effect. So I would actually argue that I don't need to build more of these machines right now. What I'm doing right now is the appropriate course of action. I'm just making sure that the resources are available for the machines that I already have. And I might even need to expand this production line farther, to tell you the truth. I see a solution, actually. I can do this. This will work. Well, let's go ahead and have you elevate... Well, that's awkward. Hang on. Now can I bring you down? I bet I can bring you down now. Hey, there we go. That's a nice even arch too. I love it. Alright, now this one's going to be same thing. I'm literally going to use the same trick. Let's build an elevated line to get basically a second line at the same mid-height, and then we're going to come back down from it. There we go. Magical. So what I can do here, this is going to be interesting. Alright, I do need to go ahead and do something a little bit different in this case. I'm just going to, like, elevate this here and then bring it back down. There we go. It changes nothing, it just gives me a little bit more space. So, saying that it changed nothing is actually an atrocious lie. Okay, so, yeah, this is where it gets interesting. That was a pretty big expansion. I'm not sure how that's going to affect supply chains. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Now the challenge here is no small challenge. Hang on, let's see. I need to have a new line going this way, coming out this way, feeding out, and then coming back in. Perfect. So speaking... you can't get more perfect than that. I'm going to get to show you firsthand that I know what you're talking about. Because in that case, it actually kind of makes sense. I'm okay with having that combination there. Because we just need to get those resources on the line as quickly as possible. And I'm just going to set these up manually. Old school. You only live once. I don't care. And there we go. Now the question is, how are we doing on power? Still fine. Still completely fine. However, I would imagine... Yep. Already seeing yellow circles at the end of this. So I'm guessing that all of my sulfuric acid is getting utterly eaten alive. Yeah, totally is. Yeah, that tank that we were filling up is rapidly depleting. So... very interestingly, I do see a solution to this. I'd have to build more pumps, which is not a problem. I could build more pumps on this little ocean, in fact, if you want to call it an ocean. Although, is it actually needed? It appears that it's needed, yeah. Well, I don't know, it's interesting, because, like, the sulfuric acid is catching up. It's just taking it a minute. But I feel like it's probably... yeah, this is it. Yeah, there we go. Now it's going to struggle a little bit more. So, yeah, let's keep working on this. I'm going to keep doing 3 at a time. Just 3 at a time. Keeping it simple. That's all I need. Alright, again, I'm out of, well, I can probably build more now. Hang on, let's see. Do I not have any iron? Where's there an iron mine? There's one. Gimme. Gimme! Okay, so... what the heck? Sorry, train of thought. Come back. What was it? Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna build a couple of these. Oh nice, I can build 18 of them. I mean, I don't need 18. Alright, so let's go back over here. And get these powered. Now I can actually delete that. And use use this guy instead, and as a consequence of that, I'll actually be able to build another set of pumps here. Need liquid sources, huh? There's your liquid sources right there. Calm down. Alright, and we'll build a tower there. Alright, so same thing. No, I did not mean to do that. That was completely in error. Ignore that. That never happened. Nobody saw that. Nothing occurred. There was no ridiculous belt misclick from self-proclaimed spaghetti master Hadrian. It didn't happen. You didn't see it. You didn't see what you saw. Okay, so I'm just going to combine things with this line, which does mean we have one line that's a little bit heavier than the other. But that's okay. All right, so with that, that's a little bit more sulfuric acid, and it seems like we're building up sulfuric acid again, which is lovely to see. Didn't necessarily expect that. But that's not the whole plan. Yes, I wanted the volume of sulfuric acid coming in, but it actually doesn't seem like that's enough, does it? It really doesn't. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move things slight. Aww, are you freaking kidding me? We're not at the right latitude to where that's going to work? Okay. Well, okay, I can still do this. It just is a little bit more complicated than planned. Actually, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. Yeah, it's not bad at all. This is gonna work. This is gonna work fine. Alright, so let's do a couple of fresh buildings here. Oh, that's gonna be a problem. I can already tell. Hang on. Oh, I shouldn't have built that first. Build that first. Learn that from painful experience. Okay, and now we'll have a piler here. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. So now we should start to see a lot of sulfuric acid make its way down this line, assuming the piler's work is intended. It's just that I'm hoping this thing will still... Yeah, it's actually emptying out, which makes me sad. It's emptying out, which means this thing's not going to keep functioning unless I add even more. Which, to tell you the truth, it might not take much more. It genuinely might not. So let's go ahead and make a little bit of room here. Oh wow, I'm actually almost out of pumps. That was unexpected. Well, crap. Hang on. That was more than I needed, but, you know, it's not exactly something that we've been on the lookout for resource-wise. So let's just go ahead and get them built so that the next time, well, so that there isn't a next time that I require those. All right, so there's that. And now the question is, now that we've beefed up both sides of the input a little bit, is it going to fill up or is it going to empty out? It's going to empty out. Oh, wait. Okay, this is interesting. It definitely seems like maybe it's kind of at capacity. Let's see how the buildings themselves are doing. Oh, whoa, is everything saturated? Is everything complete? Oh my god, everything's saturated. So we finally have enough of these. That's fantastic. Hang on, what's needed over here? Really? Carbon nanotubes. Wait a minute. How's power? Okay, power's fine. So carbon nanotubes are back in demand. Even... Okay, hang on. That is not realistic. Okay, so... Yeah, what we're going to have to do here is... pile, to be honest. That's what we're going to have to do. Let's go ahead and put one of those down there. I don't know if this is going to work as smoothly as I want. Oh my god, it will. I was not expecting that. Look at that. Alright, so those are partially piled, but of course without a second line doing the same thing, it's kind of pointless. So let me go ahead... I guess I'll just start it where it's needed, which is right about here. And then we'll have it cross. Then we're going to delete that. We're going to place another piler. Now, I'll try this because it's the practical solution. I'll just let the line combine. And we'll see if that has any adverse effects that kind of justifies my approach, or whether it kind of ends up being 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Yeah, so the way the combination works here is that if there's an opening, anything sitting on this T intersection will kind of zip in real quick and take the open spot, which is fine. All right, so we really... Yeah, we're back up to 12.1 gigawatts. Any more completed frames? There's one panel that's almost completely done. That's cool. Looks like we have 2 completed frames here. That's nice. Well, let's go ahead and get those built. The sheer number of rockets just launching continuously is so satisfying to see. And we're still increasing the number of them. Like, actually right now, what we just did is going to directly impact the number of rockets being launched. It's fantastic. And I love everything about it. How are we doing on this resource? Are we completely good? Are we stacked? Seems like we're actually stacked, which is great to see. So what I need is just to extend this line a little farther. I'm not going to do a lot, just a little. Just a little. Because I think we're more or less at our limits. And I don't want to push it too far. Alright, and now we just need to make sure that these are connected to outputs. Easy peasy. Excuse me. That was incredibly rude. The very last building has a collision error, so it didn't copy any of those. All right, so again, what I just did might cause some of the lines to empty out a bit, because now we have pretty much the entire half of a hemisphere. Oh no, it's not a hemisphere, is it? Wait a minute. I'm forgetting my geology terms. Or, in this case, not geology, geography. I'm completely forgetting. Maybe it is hemisphere. I don't remember, though. As soon as someone says it, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah. That. Alright, it looks like... Ooh. Deuterium is actually emptying out? What? That can't be humanly possible. How is that? Okay, it's not emptying out. It's just being used faster than... Yeah, this very last machine can't quite get enough deuterium. Which is funny. You poor thing. You poor, poor thing. Whatever will you do? So we're about... No. I was about to say we're about halfway done, but we're not. It's a 16,000 point research project to increase our research speed with the current project we're doing, and so we're about a third of the way through. We're more than a third, but not half. So, yeah, that's fun. We're 6/16 of the way through. 3/8. So it's approaching half. You know. Man, that is probably the most overdrawn I've ever done any, like, lake operation just to produce a ton of sulfuric acid. And it's interesting, by the way, right now, liquids in the game don't actually drain. Liquid groundwater, so whether it's, or ground liquids, so like sulfuric acid, H2O, doesn't drain. So you can have a little tiny pond like this. You'll never drain it. Hang on, there's probably a tinier one somewhere. Where is it? Gotta find it. I've filled in a few like that. Yeah. This little pond right here. Literally a little pond. Just a little tiny pond. Little tiny pond. This will never drain. If you set up a water pump on either side of it, it'll feed sulfuric acid to your production buildings like it's an ocean, which is freaking funny. And I imagine that is something that will change. I cannot imagine that they would just leave in a game that's so focused on like finite resources and, you know, complexity and logistics, the idea that they're just going to let infinite groundwater and oceans and ponds remain in the game is a little bit far-fetched to me. I don't think that's the case. I'm not going to say it. So we have this deuterium. Yeah, that's like trying to empty out because it's literally pouring as fast as it possibly can. And everything up here is good. Okay, carbon nanotube's still struggling a little bit. Yeah, I have plenty to output here, so all I really have to do... Yeah, you know what? Hang on. There's a straightforward solution to this. Should have thought about this sooner. It's a little bit convoluted, but we're gonna do it. It's a little bit absurd, actually, because we're gonna bring this belt all the way the heck... No, don't you dare. We're gonna bring this all the way the heck around like this. We'll have it go here. And then here. And then we'll have it go like to there. Man, look how fast they get that built. That's so freaking satisfying. You have no idea. Well, some of you have an idea, but yeah. Actually, at this point, listen, if you're watching this episode of Alpha Andromedae, then you probably watch most of the rest of them. And so you know exactly how it feels, because you've experienced this feeling with me multiple times, whether you've played the game or not. So, cheers. Okay. We're out of building range. Hang on. There we go. So, same thing. I will give the people what they want and just do a basic link here. right, looks like there's one tile that still needs to be improved there. And so, hang on, let's go over here and make sure everything's done. Yeah, you need more spiniform stalagmite at the very end, so we're actually running out a little bit there. But at the front end here, yeah, I actually have some of this resource in stock. So I can have these machines output it. There we go. And I really don't think any more needs to be output, but it's just a way to make sure that those machines which were currently clogging up the line no longer do so. And we should see the other bits coming in any second now. They had to go all the way around, but here they are. Boom. And so as a consequence, we are going to see this fill all the way up again. Yep. And these should be good now. At least for the next few moments. Until the line readjusts to current demand. Okay, well, we're about 31 minutes into the episode. It's a little bit earlier than I would typically stop, but I'm also doing some evening recording to get ahead of schedule on Alpha Andromedae right now, and as you can see, it is approaching slightly later hour for me. I'm still awake, but I can't necessarily commentate anymore at the point that I'd like to, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. And in the next one, we are going to continue to build up Gacrux. Let's take a quick look at the Dyson Sphere and see how it's... Oh, man, so many of these are just ready to go. Yeah, we've got one more here. And by ready to go, I mean they're like inches from completion. So I can really fill this in. And we haven't quite researched what we need to have the same kind of space, because remember, we did these like one square up in order to get that gap effect. It's going to look really cool when it's done. So we have to wait for the research, we have to wait for these to finish before we do any more panels. But it's fine, because it gives us additional time to let this wrap up, and we're at 12.4 gigawatts, by the way. So lots of good progress being made there as well. Look at that. Look at it rising over the frickin' horizon. This game, man, I'm telling you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, oh, that was a good stretch. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming out every day at noon, U.S. Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.